How to deal with your PTSD, anxiety, stress, and your triggers, episode 6. So, what I want to share with you today is something that I learned through going to counseling. Now, there's different things that he told me along the way to try to help cope and improve and become a better person and use my situations in life as a benefit per se. But this one stuck out more than the others. And what this is discussing a trigger that I have while driving. Now, you can have triggers from all different things. You know, if you have triggers, you know what I mean. You can have triggers from smells, you have from places, noises, situations. I have a trigger. One of my triggers is driving. And that trigger, what I thought was road rage, now I'm realizing it was actually something stemming from PTSD. So, because I didn't have road rage earlier in life, and it developed at the same time I started having these PTSD symptoms. And so when I'm driving and somebody does something dangerous, now somebody flips me off or slows down in front of me, you know, something that's frustrating, I might get frustrated like anybody would, but I don't get triggered. Now, when I get triggered and I have a reaction that's, I would call it kind of uncontrollably, where you're just reacting and your body's kind of on autopilot. Now, if somebody did something dangerous where they could have just caused an accident and somebody could have got hurt, especially if I see a child around and they put a child in danger, that triggers me to remember and be back in situations where somebody was hurt in an accident that could have been prevented. And so anyway, I get triggered. And now I've got a bell. I got this bell hanging from my rearview mirror. That bell is a reminder of the bell curve. And what my counselors taught me is that on this bell curve, if you don't know the bell curve, I'll explain to you the way he explained it to me, is as we have the bell, the little edge on one side is the really intelligent people, the little bell edge on the other side is the not so intelligent people, and the rest of the world living on the rest of the bell. I kind of look at it as a half a bell, and the people on the top are the smartest, the people on the very lip at the bottom are the least intelligent, lowest IQs, and the rest of the world right here on the side. Now, the importance of that is not knowing where everybody is in that moment. So when I'm driving down the road and somebody swerves over at me because they think that I merged inappropriately, so they're going to try to swerve their vehicle at me, in their mind, who knows what they're thinking? I see it as a potential threat that could have ran me off the road into a tree, killed somebody, especially if somebody's in the car with me. That triggers me to become sometimes very angry and do very, not have very good behaviors that could lead people out of their cars and stuff. So who knows why they did it? Who knows what caused them to do it? And I don't know. The main thing is to consider is that they're on a different spot on that bell than I am. So when they're on a different spot on the bell, their perspective is completely different than mine. And it's not my job necessarily to teach them a lesson about why what they did was dangerous. Because in their mind, it might not be dangerous. And in my mind, maybe it's not as dangerous that I'm thinking that it is. You know, my perspective is completely different from theirs. And whether there's some neuroscientist that is developing, you know, miracles, or you know, they're just the nicest person in the world but has a low IQ and they're just struggling to drive to begin with, and maybe they accidentally swerved in front of me and they didn't even realize it and I just took it as they were being aggressive. I don't know what they're doing, but in the moment I can't focus on stopping my reaction. But with that bell hanging right there, right in my windshield, right in my rearview mirror, right there where I see it, it's a constant reminder while I'm driving to help avoid that particular trigger. And if I see it coming up in a situation that I can see this might lead me to be triggered, I see that bell and I'm already thinking about it, and I start heading it off, and maybe I make a turn, I take a different route. And so what I'm trying to say here is, if there's something you can do, certain reminder, like for me it's the bell, as to head off that trigger before that trigger ever happens, then move through life. And every day I drive through life without having to be triggered while I'm driving is one more day further away from that, one more day that I'm thinking with a broader perspective of outside of my own head, and helping me to be a better person for myself, for people around me, and to be a stronger person for my future. So anyway, hope that helps, and I'll see you next time.